Hi guys, and welcome back to the Zoo Tour series where I'll be visiting zoos, sanctuaries and small wildlife parks. Today we're at the New Forest Wildlife Park, which is home to an array of European wildlife as well as some international species like wallabies and giant otters. The park is passionate about education and conservation, which is always good with me. Now today's video will feature clips and photos that I took at the park, and the main three types of animals we'll be focusing on are harvest mice, wolves and otters, though there were a range of animals which will feature along the way, like the mouflon. I don't know if that's how you say their name, but the mouflon, for example, which are thought to be the ancestors for all modern domestic sheep breeds. So when we arrived at the park, we went into the glass house, which featured this massive harvest mouse mansion. The harvest mice are so small that they can utilise every little aspect of this enclosure. The harvest mouse is the smallest of the British rodents, weighing between 5 to 11 grams. For size comparison, you can see just how small it is when it stands next to a quarter of an orange. Overall, I found this enclosure to be really interesting and enriched. I genuinely stood there for absolutely ages watching the mice go about their day. As well as the mice, some otters and ferrets shared the glass house. The ferrets at this park were originally either ex-pets or handed in as lost pets, and it's thought that ferrets have been domesticated for over 2,500 years. As I said, otters also shared this glass house. However, this was just the inside of their enclosure. They also had an outside area, which we'll get into in a bit. I don't like it. It was not worth it. Next up, we had the wolves. Now, I didn't get tons of footage as I was a little busy taking photos, most of which I must admit came out blurred or straight up out of focus. Now, we went around the park twice. The first time we saw the alpha male, which was a big old beefy wolf, but the second time we managed to catch a feeding session.
Oh my god, hurry up, they're talking about the wolves. They have 5 wolves.
As you can tell, I was quite excited. Now, to me, wolves are pretty majestic, though I will admit I did think they would be bigger. Maybe I'm picturing dire wolves. I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. I just thought they were going to be taller and beefier. But like the alpha male is fairly big. But turns out grey wolves are the biggest species of wolves, so apparently this is the biggest. Maybe it's because I was far away. I'm sure if I was next to them I'd really notice the difference. But interestingly, on doing research I realised that Irish wolfhounds in some cases can get even taller than grey wolves. So that's pretty cool. I will say once I was down a park and I thought a small horse was running at me, but turns out it was an Irish wolfhound. Anyway, back to these wolves. So there was an alpha male and female at first when the food came out. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the 3 other wolves just appeared, which I imagine if you are getting tracked through a forest by wolves, that's something that would happen. They would just suddenly appear. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And if you're wondering, they're all from the same litter and they were originally born at Colchester Zoo.
That otter has a human face. It's scary.
Next up, we have the otters. Now I'm going to split this into 3 categories as I filmed 3 species at the park: giant otters, Asian short-clawed otters, and Eurasian otters. Now the giant otter enclosure was in the deer encounter part of the park. These were the only animals at the park that the staff said they wouldn't go in with. They'd go in with wolves, a lynx, but not these. They said these guys, given the chance, can take down caiman and anacondas, so they weren't to be messed with. Next we had the Eurasian otter. These are solitary animals, and this one in particular should be sleeping but was waiting around for fish. Otter! Fish!
That is not convincing, is it?
Everyone get a good look. So he might go run back to his tunnel.
Yep.
He did have some noisy but really, really adorable neighbours. I have tons of footage of these, so please bear with me, but these are Asian short-clawed otters. They were also waiting for fish, and we stuck around to watch them get fed and listen to the otter talk. Turns out they are vulnerable in the wild due to habitat destruction, pollution, hunting and the pet trade. I know these are adorable, but please do not buy animals taken from the wild. As I said earlier, the otter enclosure stretched from inside the glass house to outside in these large pens. There were also some Asian short-clawed otters in the deer encounter section who were equally as adorable.
Do you think he's cleaned himself?
He's playing with a stone, look, it's on his chest.
Is it still in his hands?
Yeah.
Teeny tiny
He's
stone.
dropped it. Oh no, he's still got it. He drops it every now and again. Oh. See it roll across his chest?
Yes! That's what you're saying, yes! Ah.
So there you have it, that was my little tour of the New Forest Wildlife Park. Now, as I said at the start, there were lots more animals, so I will link their website below if you want to check out what else they had there. One thing I will say is I think we should have gone late spring, summertime, as one problem we did encounter that we didn't think of prior to the visit was a lot of animals were still hibernating. We also sadly didn't get to see the lynx. They do a talk and a feed at a certain time, but I think we missed it. Now this is definitely somewhere to visit if you want to get closer to and have a better understanding of our wildlife. I will say it isn't as big as a zoo, so of course don't expect to be walking around for hours, but if you take a picnic, have a stroll, you can keep going around, catch the talks, the feeds, and even go on the zip wire. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.
Do you want to touch it?
Really?
What is that?
It's definitely alive, it's moving.
That is a big spider.